Here in San Diego, our government just rammed through a mileage tax. 4 cents per mile for every mile we drive. It's catastrophic. It's all in the name of climate change, a non-existent made-up problem designed to take away our freedoms and rob us of our money. Stay tuned. We'll show you how it's being done.
Is that good lineup? Perfect. Okay. I'm standing here on the Silver Strand State Beach south of Coronado, California, to illustrate the fallacy of sea level rise. It's not happening. Behind me, by the way, is the fashionable town of Coronado, California. We're standing on the Silver Strand, a brief isthmus of land that runs between Coronado down 6 miles to Imperial Beach. It's about a quarter mile wide. It's no more than a few feet above sea level at its highest point, and believe me, there's absolutely no talk of sea level rise here or anywhere in San Diego. The sea level has not risen even 1 millimeter here in forever, here or in the entire San Diego region. Keep in mind that all of the oceans of the world are interconnected. If sea level was rising anywhere, it would be rising everywhere. To my right is the vast Pacific Ocean. It stretches all the way across to China and Asia. To our far south is Antarctica, lots of ice down there that's apparently not melting like they're telling us. And then further beyond that is the Indian Ocean. None of these seas could be rising, because if any one of them was rising, it would be rising right here. This strip of land would soon be underwater, according to those who are promulgating that lie. We're not concerned about it here. The sea level is not rising one bit. It's not rising in Coronado, California, on the Silver Strand Beach, or anywhere here in our area. We do see articles about sea level rise in California at various places, but it's not happening. So keep that in mind.
This map shows the Silver Strand. It runs from Coronado south toward Imperial Beach. It separates the Pacific Ocean on the left from San Diego Bay. Now, I have been challenged on my remarks about non-existent sea level rise, but they are centered on anecdotal remarks or comments from old-timers in Imperial Beach who claim that the sea level is rising there. Well, if it was rising there, it would be rising on the Silver Strand, and it's not. These are the kind of falsehoods that are being foisted on us every day from a lot of media outlets, from many others out there. So just be careful what you believe.
So we kind of lucked out, talking about distortions in the media like we have. We found a great one this weekend. My fiance was in the grocery store yesterday and picked up this publication, the Star News. It's published in Chula Vista in National City, California. It's a freebie. You pick it up for nothing at the grocery store, and the reason she picked it up, she came and she said, we might need it to line our cat box or something like that. And I'd never seen the publication before. I think few people have, but I decided to look inside, and I found something pretty interesting I'm going to show you. Inside the publication, there's a cartoon plays perfectly into my idea about how sea level is not rising. But they have this cartoon. Can you see this? I'll show it better. I'll show another image. But talking about making tree rings seem like the ocean level is increasing. I'll have a better image here in a moment. But anyway, the editor of the paper is a man named Carlos Davalos. Now, his office is 2 miles from San Diego Bay in a nice bayside park there. He did not bother to go down to the bay and actually check to see if himself if the sea level is rising. Of course it's not, we know that already. But this is the kind of propaganda that publications like this, fortunately nobody's going to see this because nobody sees this, nobody reads this paper. Again, it's a freebie. They can't charge anything for it, obviously, and Joan only brought it home to use for, maybe we might paint something or use it to line our cat box. But again, this whole idea of the sea level rise, this paper and Carlos, they know nothing. They're just parroting the lies that they're hearing from everybody else, and that's the danger that we're in from places like this. So again, keep in mind, it's not happening. I showed you that already. And just be careful what you believe.
Because we're going to use some copyrighted images from the Star News, I want to make this a fair use claim and categorically state that we believe we are using this fairly under the rules of the copyright laws. Here is a close-up image of that cartoon from the Star News where he's trying to make the claim that unless we basically shut down our modern society and civilization as we know it by a bunch of silly goals that's shown on that chart, that we're going to end civilization as we know it and flood the oceans with hundreds of feet of water that is not there now. Of course, it's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. The cartoonist is a guy named Joe Heller. I went to his website, and you can only see one of the images besides this one because otherwise you need to be a member newspaper of his cartoons. Here is another one of Joe Heller's editorial cartoons. On the left, you'll see how he's slamming quarterback Aaron Rodgers for basically exercising his free speech rights and his rights to determine what goes into his own body. Of course, we know that that only works for certain parts of our society. Only certain people get to have free speech, and only certain people get to determine what happens to their body. That's been stated for many, many years. But on the right side of the screen, you see Aaron Rodgers' very reasonable explanation for why he's not getting the vaccines. And whether or not you agree with that, don't you think he's maybe entitled to what goes into his body? Meet Carlos Davalos, the editor of the Star News. He did not bother to check to see himself. He could have done it easily by driving 2 miles down to the bay and seeing what's going on down there. There is no sea level rise. So I guess if you run into Carlos in the grocery store, give him some water wings, and so he doesn't have to worry about drowning when the sea level floods his office eventually. Anyways, people like him are a danger to our freedom and a danger to our income. Thanks for watching this installment of Peddling the Climate Hoax. Please like and subscribe and check back often. We will continually add. Next, we're going to have the nonsense about the bike lanes and bus routes here in San Diego. So please come back.
Behind me is 30th Street in San Diego's North Park neighborhood, where they've blocked off nearly all of the parking and put these bike lanes in. I have been here for over an hour and a half taking a time lapse with my other camera. In that time, I think I've counted seven bicyclists come by in that time. Kind of sparse. Anyways, I'm standing also right in front of Lefty's Chicago Pizza, a great place in North Park. I think we're going to talk to the owner in just a moment. So stay with us.
One of the major goals of this destructive mileage tax, 4 cents per mile in San Diego, is to get us out of our cars and onto bicycles. Well, we grandparents aren't too excited about that, especially when our doctors are 15 and 20 miles away. But anyway, they're closing down parking on major streets like this one, 30th Street in North Park. That's a major thoroughfare. They got rid of most of the parking and put these bike lanes in. But take a look. You're going to see very few bikes here. This time lapse spans 2 hours from 7 in the morning on Monday, November 8th until 9 a.m. In that time, in this time lapse, in those 2 hours, again, we boiled down 2 hours into 2 minutes. You're going to see maybe 7 bicyclists. I might have counted a total of 10 in that 2 hours, but there's only 7 seen in this video. So that shows you the fallacy and the complete, utter nonsense of this, especially since they blocked off a lot of the parking, almost all the parking on 30th Street here, when there are quiet residential streets, 1 block to the east and 1 block to the west. But it's also the impact on the businesses. We're going to talk to the owner of Lefty's Pizza, which is right on the corner where I'm standing taking this these videos. And her name is Lauren Hodson. She's been deeply impacted and hurt by the removal of the parking spaces. Her customers are very frustrated. They can't find a place to park either when they come to dine in or to pick up a pizza to take home. This is just crazy stuff. And the fact that they blocked off 30th Street, blocked off the parking, and didn't direct bicyclists to 1 block to the west on very quiet, wide residential 29th Street or 1 block east to Ray Street is reprehensible on the part of these politicians. But that's what they're getting away with. They want to drive us out of our cars. They want to put us on the buses. They want to increase all kinds of bus lanes. Nobody's riding the buses now. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. And several buses went by me this morning. They were all virtually vacant.
I'm standing now in front of Lefty's Chicago Pizzeria, right on 30th Street at 30th and Myrtle. It's a great place. They make great pizza. The owner, Lauren, has agreed to talk to us on camera about the impact that losing most of the parking spaces in front of her business has caused her pizzeria to suffer. Again, this is crazy. They could have put the bike lanes on 29th Street, one block to the west, or Ray Street, one block to the east, but they didn't do that. They chose to block off much needed parking right here on 30th for the sake of bikers, of which there's almost none. I'm standing with the owner of Lefty's Chicago Pizzeria right on 30th Street here in North Park. They make great pizzas, by the way. So I'd like to introduce
Lauren Hodson.
Lauren Hodson. She owns this Lefty's and another one up in Mission Hills. I haven't been to that one, but I can test this pizza out of here. I've had it several times. It's great. So Lauren's business is right on 30th Street. It's steps from where we're standing right now out her front door. And I just want to find out from Lauren how this closing off the parking spaces out here for the favor of bike lanes, for the favor of bike riders. Again, I saw less than 10 this morning in a 2-hour span of time. So Lauren, tell us what's going on.
That's a true statement. We see very few bikers actually using the lanes. More often you'll see them on the sidewalk. You know, they don't yield to pedestrians. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The parking has certainly become a hassle for many people, Dave, you know. Yeah. I have people who call and cancel their order after it's already been made because they can't find a spot to park and they're frustrated, you know. And then they come in here with that frustration and that just puts a damper on their whole event at Lefty's.
So you can see the impact, and as I mentioned in another video, the irony of this is that 30th Street is the major north-south thoroughfare here in the North Park neighborhood of San Diego. One measly block, about the length of the football field to our west, is the dead quiet 29th Street. You could literally ride bikes 5 abreast there and nobody would be in any danger. One block to the east is Ray Street. It's not as wide, and it's one way. It's the same thing, it's dead quiet. You could ride down that 3 abreast and not have any danger. But for some reason, our politicians decided to block off much needed parking here on 30th Street in favor of bikers, of which there's almost none. So there you have it. Please like and subscribe to our videos. We're going to keep adding to this as we go along. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks, Dave.
This is 29th Street, the dead quiet residential street 1 block west of 30th Street that bikers could easily traverse 5 abreast and be totally safe. If you look closely in the distance, you can see the iconic North Park Theater, that red brick building on the horizon back there. So that's where we are. And 29th Street would be a great option for bikers to take. I would take it if I was riding a bike up here. I'd stay off of 30th Street because this is perfectly safe right here. But for some reason, our city fathers decided to block off much needed parking out on 30th Street, 1 block that way, costing Lefty Chicago Pizzeria a lot of business. And when they had this sitting right here the whole time, they don't care about us. They care about some other agenda, but it's not us. Do we really want to be paying 4 cents a mile extra for our gasoline to drive empty buses around San Diego? This is the number 2 bus, a bus that runs up and down 30th Street and it heads downtown. At 7:30 in the morning, this is the bus I saw. Had nobody on it. In the 4 or 5 buses I did see, only one bus had 1 passenger, and that was just 1. That's all there's. This is a silly proposition. Now, not all buses are this empty, but this one is. And just look, when you're driving down the road, look at the buses beside you on the road. You're going to see a lot of empty buses out there, and they want us to pay ridiculous amounts for gasoline to support that. Did you see that San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria recently traveled to Scotland to attend some climate conference? In the meantime, San Diego is falling apart. Crime is rampant. There are now multiple shootings happening in the Pacific Beach area, an area that is obviously not safe to go into at night anymore. There have been shootings and stabbings in the Gaslamp district on 5th Avenue. We won't go down there anymore after dark. But in the meantime, instead of taking care of that and assigning more protection to diners and shoppers, and Todd Gloria is gallivanting around Scotland talking about the non-existent climate change issue. It's shameful. But that's how it is. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We will add to this. So coming up soon, we're going to expose more of the nonsense about bus lines and bus lanes and bike lanes. And we do appreciate your watching. Please like and subscribe and check back often. Thank you.